you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to The Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and welcome back to The Songwriter Show. I'm your humble host, Sarantos. I'm a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are so important to me, and that's why I love hosting this show for you every single Tuesday evening on Reality Radio 101. I believe in my heart that every song is a story. Tonight, I'm so happy to have on the show Juliet. She's a seasoned performer, poet, and producer, and she shared the stage at the Royal Albert Hall and starred in a film musical adaptation of The Pilgrim's Progress. She's also the author of a book, autobiographical, faith-based poetry that documents her journey from trauma to triumph.
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Welcome to the show, Juliet. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome. So thank you for being on the show.
I'm thrilled.
Good.
Yeah.
I am too. So your backstory is kind of cool. At some point, I want to talk to you about the poems because I don't get to interview many poets, songwriters, singers, musicians, or anything like that. So that's kind of unique. But tell us a little bit about what got you down this path of music.
Well, I've been brought up in a musical home for starters. My mum is a composer, a piano teacher, a worship leader, and we always had music in the house growing up. And I do even remember Christmases back at my grandparents' house. You know, there was always a record player on with Bing Crosby and that kind of thing. So I've loved music and grown up with it my whole life. But for me, I didn't know it was going to be my career until I joined the Drama Society just in my final year at uni and then had to do this performance. I did the solo performance at like the very end of my uni time and thought, you know what, I think I can sing. And from there, when I left university, I tried to get some professional gigs, so basically that I could get an equity card so that I could be a TV presenter, which was what I wanted to do. But everywhere I went for the audition, they were saying, hey, you're really good, you know, you can definitely get the job, basically. And I was thinking, oh,
that's
okay.
A terrible problem to have, right?
Yeah. So what I did was, my parents were missionaries in Spain. They were living in the Costa del Sol in southern Spain. And I decided to go and live out there and to kind of learn the trade, and which is what I did. I spent 2 years in the south coast of Spain. Basically, you know, back in those days, it was cassette tapes, but, you know, learning 100 songs, 3 hours a night in front of, you know, drunk holiday type audiences. But I learnt the craft in those 2 years. At 21, I had to learn not just 100 songs, but how to deal with, you know, hecklers, crazy atmospheres, you know, different venues from military gigs to hotels, casinos, bars, welcome parties. So at the end of that 2 years, I moved back to the UK and I was ready to go. I was like, okay, I can do this now. And that was the start of my music career.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on this year for the fans. Anything exciting that they should know about?
Oh my gosh, so exciting. So even though I spent my whole adult career in professional music, and I've had 7 studio albums before, that mostly, you know, Christian gospel. And as you mentioned in the introduction, you know, done a film musical, A Pilgrim's Progress, and other projects that have taken me to the Albert Hall, blah, blah, lots and lots of things, supporting named acts in my career. This last 2 years has been a different chapter and it's been phenomenal. I got scouted online and invited to go to Nashville, and we got to go to a conference that is the conference arm of the Extreme Tour based out of Nashville. And we performed there and we got critiqued by industry people. We had an amazing reaction. And on the back of that, I met the producer of the Castle Recording Studio just outside Nashville. He came to the welcome party and, you know, he was like, you know, what's going on with you? What happened? And I said, the set we just did was unbelievable. I said, the whole room just stood still, which it did because I took my 80-year-old mum to perform in Nashville today. And we're in the Spit and Sawdust cafe hotspot for like new talent. And I don't think they'd ever seen anything like this pair from England with her 80-year-old mum and her big voice. You know, it was a surreal moment, but the room stopped and everybody got the phones out and started recording. And that's what I said to him. I said, no, it was amazing. And he went, okay, well, I think we should exchange numbers. I think you should send me some stuff. And that was the start of the dream. This year, we ended up going to Nashville for 5 weeks and recorded an album there at the Castle Recording Studio, start to finish. 13 songs, live band, amazing musicians, and a great time of seeing these songs that we just honed around the piano being brought to life Nashville style. It was just amazing. And now the album's ready to go. And the first thing is out.
That's great. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your favorite tune of all time, something that really gets to you when you hear it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm a lover of Eva Cassidy, and I can listen to her album all the time. But I guess things like Rainbow, that she, her version of Rainbow, Autumn Leaves. I know you're asking me for one, but I'm just giving you a little smattering because I can't pick one.
Sure.
So I'm giving you Cassidy. Karen Carpenter, she's another one. Love Like Solitaire and We've Only Just Begun. You know, beautiful songs, just sung beautifully. But actually today on the radio, so here's a bit of a curveball because I didn't even know this was on my list until just now. Natural Woman. I love that.
It's a great song. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And today it really just hit me. And I thought, I want to sing that song. I want to learn it and sing it. Yeah, I love that song.
Tell us about your songwriting process. How do you write music, lyrics, anything that you do?
So right now, in this new chapter of writing with my mum, we are a team effort. So my skill is not as a composer, but I'm a poet. So my skill is in the lyricism, but also in the phraseology. But I also think that because my mom's older and has got a classical style, I mean, she's an amazing classical keyboard player. But when she composes, you know, she sings beautiful melodies, complicated chords, which I couldn't begin to understand. But the song doesn't always go where I want it to go. So I guess I steer the melody a bit, bring, like I say, my phraseology and my lyricism from my poetry writing. And we're a great team effort. And that process just, you know, I've been songwriting and singing and performing with my mum 35 years. So it's a kind of flowing thing that just, you know, we'll sit down at the piano and she go, well, what do you think? I've started to write this. And I'll be like, well, I like that. But we could call it that, but maybe we could have a lift in the chorus there, or I want the song to go down. It's like we just have a conversation basically. But we get there. We get there pretty quickly normally as well. It's, you know, we know each other. And I guess there must be something about the DNA, the generational thing, blending of the gifts. We just have this very unique partnership, I think, and I feel very blessed to have that.
Tell us about the song we're going to hear in a minute. What inspired this one?
So originally, this song was recorded about 20 years ago, I would say. And it was a song that was on our gospel album. And it was a song that was really based on the biblical passage, Isaiah 60, arise and shine, for your time has come, and it will arise on you, O Jerusalem. And the Bible passage and the song did that. But because I've come through so much trauma in my life, and because this is literally like me rising from the ashes, I decided that this song needed to be autobiographical. And so I rewrote the lyrics, although we kept the tune and the melody the same. And obviously it's got a great Nashville spin on it. So it's kind of got this bit of country vibe. It's got a bit of energy. It's got the fiddle, which is amazing. Brilliant session player called Andy Lethbridge, who's played for Ricky Skaggs for years. it's an amazing fiddle part. And so, yeah, this song means a lot to me because it's kind of like my rising from the ashes. That's what it is. And so it really speaks to me about, standing in your best boots, being the best version of yourself, or I'm speaking to the people out there, yourselves, and, not being frightened to speak your truth and to live in the light. And for me, that's my Christian faith, and the song's about my bringing hope, a message of hope out there. So
awesome. I'll tell you what, let's take a listen. Then we'll come back and talk a few more minutes, okay?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Here we go, everybody. Check this out. What's the coolest thing that's happened to you as a poet?
Oh, I've had a few moments, actually. I wrote a poem quite a long time ago after my twin boys had died. That's part of my traumatic journey, but by no means the extent of it. And it was a poem about Israel because God had asked me to share his broken heart. And I wrote a poem about that, and it was taken up by the International Embassy in Jerusalem. And then I got to do that same poem in London at a conference for the ambassador, the Israel ambassador. So that was a really beautiful moment, and got to give him a framed version of that poem as well. So that was an epic moment. And then when we were performing at the Royal Albert Hall, my mum and I, solo, to a song that she'd written which was for a centenary celebration of the Balfour Declaration, which is, you might not know UK history, but it was a significant moment in our history when we agreed to give Israel their land back. But they commissioned me to do a poem for that, to go in the souvenir brochure. And so I wrote something and it ended up going on the back page of the brochure. So that was pretty cool as well.
That is cool.
Yeah. So I have had some really good moments. Just off the cuff there, the two best ones I think that I can remember. But, you know, it's always a thrill for me when I meet people from around the country and they'll be like, oh, someone got up and read one of your poems in church the other day, you know, or something. And it's like, so people know me for the poems before they know me. And that's really cool.
Tell us a little bit about where people can buy your stuff, stream it, read your poems.
So my current book that I have out is called Okay, Fine, So Maybe God Exists. That kind of tracks some of my journey through trauma, but it's actually meant to be a book that is meant to help people who are lost, hurting and broken. That book can be bought on Amazon, or you can find it on my Rocket Fuel page, which you can access from my website, which is julietdawn.co.uk. That's the book. You can also find the film, Pilgrim's Progress, on YouTube. But if you search up Juliet Dawn, Pilgrim's Progress digital storybook, and you'll find it. It's an 1.5-hour film musical in which I play the part of Pilgrim. And the music for Born to Be, currently we're not going to release it digitally because we're going to release it single by single at first, sharing the story and the message behind each of the songs. So we've just released that first song that you've just heard, Arise and Shine, which is the first song from the album. But then we're going to launch the album in Loo in Cornwall. And that's going to be very exciting because people can buy the album there. But until we release it digitally, people will only be able to buy it by going onto the website, julietdawn.co.uk, and ordering a physical copy. But until then, we are going to be, like I say, releasing the singles separately, and also an EP coming out, which will also be available through the website. But there's some great, the Arise and Shine has got a great video on YouTube, which I would recommend people going and watching because I think it's really cool. And also a single called There's a Time that we released back in June. And that's also got an amazing music video. So definitely worth checking out on YouTube under Juliet Dawn and Juliet Dawn Music. You know, I'm really, really proud of those music videos. I think they're exceptional. So definitely encourage people to go and see.
So I have a fun question for you. What's the weirdest place you've ever written a poem?
Oh, gosh. The weirdest place I've ever written a poem. Wow. I don't know. Is an aeroplane weird? I think I've written poems on aeroplanes. I think I sometimes write poems when I'm driving around in the car, when I don't even have a pen and paper. So I'm just writing them in my head.
Yeah, okay.
It is a bit weird. And I do lyrics like that as well, I think, because it's a good to play an undistracted thinking time. So I come up with some of my best stuff when I'm driving around. I can't say that is something that I ever expected to be doing. Does that count? Is that an answer to the question?
Yeah, why not? Everything counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last question for you. What's the show that you're binge watching right now on any streaming platform?
Oh, well, we have a show. Well, you do have this show in the US. I know you do because I watch it with my son, my youngest son. We are addicted to The Traitors.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've definitely binge watched that. We've binge watched UK Traitors, binged watched Australia Traitors, US Traitors, and now in the UK we're just about to be hit with Celebrity Traitors. And so I cannot wait for that to come out. But it's just about the only thing that my youngest son will sit with me and watch. And we eke at each other, we pull faces, we do the whole like we go through the whole range of emotions. I love it. I can't get enough of the Traitors.
All right, awesome. Okay, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. It was a blast.
Well, thank you. I'm absolutely thrilled that you invited me to be on and got to talk about my music. And just thank you very, very much from over here in Blighty.
You're very welcome. And thank you tonight to all our listeners out there. We know your time is precious, and we thank you for spending a little bit of it with the two of us. To all the listeners, we hope this show has inspired you to explore your own stories through music. My name is Sarantos. It's been a pleasure. Please join us every single Tuesday evening to hear more stories from incredible artists from all over the world. Until then, keep creating and sharing, because every single story, especially yours, deserves to be heard. Have a great night, everyone. I love you all.
Yesterday you found yourself screaming at a God you didn't believe in. Maybe he loved you, but you didn't feel loved. So just like Adam, you had to leave the garden, and like cold iron felt your blood. The silence grew roots, your heart grew hectic, lifeless. You're frozen, so skeptic. You felt like a doormat, hated everybody, everyone, and everything. You moved on a long time ago, but he never could just let you go. He never takes more than he needs, but sometimes he has to do things he doesn't like to, doesn't want to, but he has to do these things for you. Makes no mistake. Today you can't imagine life without him. Your heart drums loud as sin. Without him it's just you, and you're so broken. Your world feels like a snow globe, but he reminds you of the day you prayed for all the things you have today. He never takes more than he needs, no. But sometimes he has to do things he doesn't like to. He just doesn't want to, but he has to do these things for you. God makes no mistake. I've been there too, drowning in the air. But his story isn't finished yet. His voice always echoes through the canyons of our soul. choice, he doesn't make mistakes. He can't force you to love him, but his love is never a mistake. Oh, the architect of fate knows what it takes. Love is a choice, he doesn't make mistakes. He can't force you to love him, but his love is never a mistake. Oh, he never makes a mistake.
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.